Okay, you're doing composition of functions for this problem. So we have, the first thing we're supposed to find is f of g of x. So I'm going to write down f of x, except that I'm going to put a big parenthesis where the x is, because I'm going to replace that with what I have for g of x. And in this case, my g of x is 2x squared minus 3. So that's what I'm going to put inside my parentheses. And then I'm going to simplify it. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 5. And then I'll be finished. And I can put that in and check my answer. But that will give me a 10x squared minus 15 minus 2. And these two are like terms, so I can combine those. So that gives me 10x squared minus 17 for the first part. Now for the second part, that was A. For B, we want to do the same thing, except we start with g of x and substitute in f of x wherever the x goes. So that one I'm going to write down, except I put a big parenthesis where the x is. Everything else I'll write down exactly the same. And then instead of an x, I'm going to write down what I have for f of x, which is 5x minus 2. So now I just have to simplify this one. And I need to distribute my 2, but at first I need to square it. So I would rewrite that as 5x minus 2 times 5x minus 2. So I need to multiply those first. And you can do your FOIL method, and then we're going to double that. But 5x times 5x is 25x squared. 5x times negative 2 gives me negative 10x, and then negative 2 times 5x here gives me another negative 10x, and then negative 2 times negative 2 gives me positive 4. And then I have my minus 3. So I'm just fixing everything as I go. I can combine my negative 10x and negative 10x to get a negative 20x in there. So I'll write down everything else I have just the way it was. And I still have to double that because I have that 2 outside there. And then I'll subtract 3 from it. So now all I have left to do is to distribute my 2, subtract 3 from that, and I'll have B simplified. And then you can put that in. Now for the C part, what you want to do is find f of g at negative 2. Well, we already found f of g right here. That was our f of g. So what that means to do is to now plug in a negative 2 for our x squared. So what we're going to do with this to find the C part, since we already have our f of g, I'm just rewriting that also, is to write that down, big parentheses where the x was, because I'm going to replace it. And what I want to replace it with is whatever's in my parentheses here, which is the negative 2.